Some of you might have seen this video before. I released it a couple of months ago. After watching Thor Ragnarok and not enjoying it in the least, I thought it might change things up by having a bit of a rant about the film's myriad of failings. I released it and overnight it amassed a lot of views and an unnaturally large amount of downvotes. It was pointed out to me that I had done a bad job of showing my working out. Instead of showing why I hated the film, I, believing that it was self-evident, merely asserted it. This was not helped by the fact that I could use very little of the film footage itself because of YouTube and Disney and general copyright fiasco, so I sourced the material mainly from a making of and some extra features. Anyway, after seeing the displeasure the video had caused, I deleted it. I have since rewatched Thor Ragnarok, and I certainly didn't enjoy it any more than the first time. So encouraged by a YouTube poll, I have decided to re-release that video, without change. You don't have to like this video, you don't have to agree with me, but this is still my opinion. I don't want anyone to watch this video with false expectations, so let me be clear from the start, I have no love for superheroes. I find the whole notion a bit pathetic. If you like them, then good for you. But I'd tap out of this video right about now.
What are your superpowers again? I'm rich.
I don't mind Batman as he has no superpowers. He's just a vigilante with some wacky ideas and more money than sense.
Somebody get me a tie, and it sure as hell better be red.
I also don't mind the Spirit, the comic book that is, as again he has no superpowers. The movie adaptation does change that lore and is an acquired taste.
This'll send you back to hell, you ugly troll!
Thor is another one that gets a pass from me as he isn't a superhero. He's the Norse god of thunder, and I quite like that warring god's mythology. Though I never really read the comic books and didn't give the first two films a second thought after seeing them, I like the idea of Thor rather than really getting into the actual content.
The Allies have taken Italy, France will be next, and soon the war will be over.
God damn it! Why does that make you happy?
However, I did see Taika Waititi's Jojo Rabbit and was really taken by it. It's dramatic, funny, happy, sad, and really, really well made. I kind of fell in love with Taika Waititi's style at that point. I had already seen and enjoyed What We Do in the Shadows, but I searched out Hunt for the Wilder People, which I also really enjoyed. Then I happened to stumble across Thor Ragnarok in a charity shop. £2, gift aid item.
When Marvel approached me, they said, we want to take Thor in a new direction.
We wanted to have more fun with Thor, step him out of Asgard and take him to another side of the universe.
They quote-unquote wanted to have more fun with this movie. Clearly some executives saw the profits that Guardians of the Galaxy had made them and said this is what Marvel should be, make the next film like that.
Ask the place, Asgard.
Asgard!
I'll tell you this, and this is honest. It was as good a time as I've ever had.
Champion, champion, champion.
It was really fun, exciting, and I liked what we were doing.
I'm so pleased that they had a wonderful time making this film, as improvised jokes and ad-libs seem to have taken precedent over everything.
You're Banner's friend.
I'm not Banner's friend, I prefer you.
Normally I'd take 2 minutes to go over what the plot is, but there isn't one. At least not one that the characters are invested in. They just quip their way through every scene, de-escalating even the slightest sign of tension lest it rises up and turns into a story beat.
One of my favourite things in this film is Loki's response to Hulk smashing Thor in exactly the same way that Loki got smashed.
Yes! Come on! That's how I feel! Woo!
If the characters are unconcerned by what happens next, nor am I. Indiana Jones is funny, but not to the point where it sacrifices the story. This movie is essentially taking Thor and putting him in an Austin Powers movie. It's more like a Saturday Night Live spoof of a Marvel film than a Marvel film itself.
This might be the most audacious set we've ever built for the most audacious planet that we've ever featured in one of our films. And you look at the design of this whole place, from these walls to the costumes to the little props, it is entirely a tribute to the artistry of Jack Kirby.
And it looks like hell. Some things that work in comic books don't translate to the screen. Look at this set. It looks like cardboard. And the green screen is shockingly bad too. Look at this. Honestly, look. That's what $180 million buys you. I'm shocked that Disney had the nerve to release this film. This is student level filmmaking, and that student deserves to fail.
you know, everyone talks about how Marvel films are funny now, so I think it's no great surprise that Thor Ragnarok is very, very funny, but what surprised me was that it's funny in a very Taika Waititi way. It feels so much like one of his films, and it's almost indistinguishable in the humour from What We Do in the Shadows, which is surprising to me. And especially because he said in interviews that he relied a lot on improvisation. Like, I think he said like 10% of the film is improvised or something. That number might be wrong, which is surprising because, you know, over in Star Wars land at the moment, you have Phil Lord and Christopher Miller who were directing the young Han Solo film. They were fired for improvisation. So, yeah, I think that's surprising. I guess it's the difference between where Marvel is creatively and where Star Wars is creatively.
I'm told that this film is way better than the next one, Love and Thunder. I honestly cannot see how a film could be worse than this. I don't think it's humanly possible. I've never seen a movie by a filmmaker I know to be competent so utterly without merit. Press pause at any point and I'll show you something that I hate. How on earth this film could be a hit while Howard the Duck was a failure, I don't know.
That's it. No more Mr. Nice Duck.
Thor Ragnarok, suck my cock.